He's catching bass with that.
See, they found a way to combat my bunker. They're still going to pin me up against this thing, even though I get more. It's amazing. He's very athletic, but he's got to learn the nuances of the position. Sorry, he's seen a lot of different blitzes. We're throwing things at him, I think with Malcolm in there right now, it's given us some flexibility. He doesn't have to start right away. It's going to give us flexibility to kind of bring him along, which I think is good with him. But he's definitely going to have a role in our 3 and 4 wide, and maybe even in some 2 wide packages. But he's got real talent, and he's working at it.
Obviously, he's got size, but what else is distinctive qualities about him?
He's big, and he's fast, and he's got real good hands. So that's why he was rated the way he was rated out of high school. And he's still learning, and he's 240 pounds. So I was concerned about his weight until Coach Jackson said, we're putting him we have what we call a bod pod here that measures density and body fat. He's about as lean as you can get. That's just him. He's just a big dude. So, because of that, he's carrying it well. And we'll see. We'll see what the plans are for him. We'll bring him along. He'll play this year, but he doesn't have the pressure on him, I think, right now because of how Malcolm's playing.
Coach, you said the backup quarterbacks, you look on film from Saturday night to see where they're at, see how they play with the first teams, second teams. Can you talk about where you feel they're at?
No, we evaluate all of them, so we haven't made a decision on any of the quarterbacks at this point. So they're still going.
Last year you set a date for the name of starters. That's a backup. Is there any date you're going to set?
I'm not setting a date this year.
Okay.
Last year's situation, I don't know if you know this. Last year's situation is a little bit different than right now.
Yes, sir.
So, no. Is that all right?
Yes, sir.
Sorry about that. But that's
okay. That's why I asked.
It's kind of a fluid deal.
With any concerns with Brandon Williams being ready for 31st?
My concerns would be I'm more concerned about Brandon Williams being ready for the season. So, if he's ready to go, he's ready to go. If we feel like from a medical standpoint it's best to hold him, we'll hold him. We got our other backs obviously have been doing a really good job, and we haven't in the scrimmage situations haven't played Ben very much. So, we've got between Ben and Trey it's those guys are adequate and or above adequate, pretty good backs. And Dolezal played for us last year a lot. So, if he's ready to go by then, I'm more concerned with him being involved in double-digit type, 10 or 11 games than in one game.
What has Trey Carson shown you in camp so far?
Good hands, good versatility, and he's really picked up the pace and protection. So, he's a guy that's trustworthy and solid. Gives us another dimension at 230 pounds that we don't have with the two little guys.
In your opinion, is wide receiver one of the hardest positions to transition for high school to college?
Not harder than quarterback.
Okay. Is it up there though?
I think the further you get away from the football, the harder it is to play as a young guy. The closer you get to the football, there's the physical nature of what's going on in there makes it difficult for you to play, just from a size and strength situation. But when you get on the perimeter, if you've got speed, if you've got some athletic ability, you can get away with it. And it depends on what people are asking you to do too. So, from that standpoint, there's just you can be a good player, but physically you might not be ready to play in the interior, and you have a better chance probably coming out of high school playing on the perimeter than anyone.
You talk about where the Taylor brothers are right now and how they're developing.
Yeah, they're they've shown. I tell you what they're doing a lot better job of is playing harder, and I think they understand the tempo of the game and what's important to them. you know, more so than they did last year this time, because they approach the summer differently. You know, when you watch great examples of how DeMontre Moore and you know, and those guys played during the game, it's easy to point on tape and say, you know, these guys played hard. And this is the level of effort that we need. Not necessarily with that effort comes the kind of production that we need. So it's on tape, and those guys are getting it.
With the 31 new guys that you have, you're so close to wrapping up camp, starting game preparations for us. Are you happy with where they're at?
Yeah, we challenged them a little bit. They hit the wall, you know, the last couple of days. This is usually where, you know, guys really haven't been through this. A lot going on, you know, and so they were a little bit down today. But we challenged them. Tomorrow's our last 2-a-day practice. So we got to get through tomorrow. They got to get through tomorrow. They got to push themselves through tomorrow mentally and physically, and then we'll begin preparation for a game really Thursday.
Where has Johnny improved the most from spring drills to now?
You know, I think his overall knowledge of the offense, you know, where he is and his ability to think during the play, giving him a little bit more flexibility to change plays, understanding defenses, and you know, he's worked on the mechanics with his feet. So, you know, I think there's a lot of things that we sat down and talked about how he can improve, and he's approached it, and his, like I said, his attitude and his focus has been good during camp.
Anything else? Some of your freshman corners that have gotten a lot of reps, Noah Ellis, Tavares Garner, guys like that. What have they shown you so far?
They've shown the ability to cover sometimes and get beat sometimes. That's what freshman corners do. So they're talented. They just don't know everything yet. And when you play against Mike Evans, it's not good all the time. You know, so you know Tavares has got real talent. We've played Victor Davis out the corner too a little bit. He's got a lot of talent. Noel is playing some nickel. So, you know, those young guys have had a lot of turns. Alex Caesar has played a lot. So we're giving them turns because, you know, after our first couple guys, you know, we just got to kind of figure out where we are with backups and who's playing, and they're all competing, they're all learning, but, you know, they're learning against some pretty good players too, and that's good. You know, competition makes them all better.
Do they arrive with short memories, or is that something you're going to have to teach them?
I don't know. You know, we try to teach them that, but the way Mike Evans talks to them, it's not very nice. And he is unmerciful on practice. And, so, you know, it's everybody's not him. I tell those guys, there's everybody's not 6'5", 230 and can do that. So.
And he's just a sophomore.
Yeah. He's a good player. So he was just a freshman last year, and he seemed to be all right.
Any movement on Everett and Raven this season?
How pleased have you been with Clay Honeycutt, Coach?
You know what? He has, along with Malcolm, has really improved. You know, he is a guy who didn't see the field. I didn't know if he was going to ever play here. We challenged him, and he got better in the spring. Has been steady, and he's gonna. I mean, he's competing to play right now, to really get on the field and try to push this. I mean, he is. He's right there, and so I'm really happy with his progress. And you know, in the next week and a half will determine, you know, how much he's going to play in that first game, and then after that, how much he's going to play during the year.
All right.
Okay, we're good.
Thanks, Coach.
No problem.
Thanks.